Hey everyone, and welcome to a bonus episode of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. I am Lee. I will be joined by Darren, but kind of remotely. We just wanted to get this information out there because we know the theme parks are opening as of today, June 1st. So today, June 1st, and tomorrow, June 2nd, the parks are open for team members. Then June 3rd and June 4th, they are open for select guests and whoever managed to get a ticket from the annual pass holders. And then it's open to the general public, albeit on a limited service. On June 5th, and I will be sitting down with some members of the Producers Club at the weekend to discuss their visits to the parks who are going over the course of this week, so we will be bringing you more information as far as what to expect when you do get back to the parks. If you're going in the next few weeks or even the next few months, no one knows how long these new measures are going to be in place. But Universal Orlando recently put out a huge section on their website of frequently asked questions that people may find quite useful when heading back out to the parks under the new norm, as it were. So Darren and I are going to bring you the questions and the answers. So let's get on with it. The first topic is general, and the first question is, where do I have to go to get my temperature taken?
Guests will have their temperatures taken in a screening area inside the parking structure prior to the security checkpoint.
What will happen if a guest has a high temperature?
Any guest that has a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater will not be able to enter City Walk, and it will be requested that the individual see a doctor, per CDC guidelines.
Will I be required to wear a face covering?
Yes. We are following CDC guidelines as well as local health protocols. If you have a disability that prevents you from wearing a face covering, you will be referred to guest services to discuss ways we can accommodate you. If you do not have a face covering, we'll have them available for purchase. Also, per CDC guidelines, children under the age of 2 are not required to wear facial coverings.
What is considered an appropriate facial covering for my visit?
Facial coverings in line with CDC guidelines are considered appropriate for a visit to Universal Orlando Resort and should cover an individual's nose and mouth. Costume masks and veils will not be considered as facial coverings and per our costume guidelines are not permitted.
Where can I purchase a face covering, and are they available in various sizes?
Face coverings will be available for purchase at a merchandise cart in the screening area within City Walk. At this time, face coverings are available in one size.
What about face coverings when guests are eating?
We have arranged tables and seating so that guests can remove their face coverings while they eat, but we ask that they wear them at all other times.
Are contactless payments available?
Yes, guests can utilize contactless forms of payment at select locations.
Is mobile food and drink ordering available?
Yes, mobile food and drink ordering is available for select venues, and available venues can be viewed on the official Universal Orlando Resort app. To use it, download the official Universal Orlando Resort app and create an account. Then select Order Food and Drinks under the drop-down menu and select the dining location you're interested in to view the menu. Make your selections, then follow the prompts to place your order. Once it's ready, you can either retrieve your order from the pickup window at the venue, or at select locations, your food will be delivered to your table.
Are Universal Dining Plan or Universal Orlando gift cards accepted for mobile food and drink orders?
No, Universal Dining Plan and Universal Orlando gift cards are currently not accepted on mobile food and drink orders.
What if I have allergies but want to make a mobile food or drink order?
Guests should ask to speak to a chef or manager at the venue prior to placing their mobile food and drink order.
Will these new procedures be in place for Halloween Horror Nights and the 2020 holidays celebration?
More details about these events will be shared at a later time.
What about Grad Bash 2020?
Due to the park's temporary closure, all Grad Bash 2020 events have been canceled.
What about Grad Venture 2020?
Due to the park's temporary closure, all Grad Venture 2020 events have been canceled.
Will you have themed face coverings for sale?
Yes, we will have themed face coverings available for purchase in the weeks ahead. Stay tuned for updates.
The next section is labelled Theme Parks. Are the parks reopening at reduced capacity during this phase?
Yes, we are limiting attendance at our theme parks during our phased reopening.
Is a reservation required in order to visit the theme parks beginning June 5th?
No, a reservation is not needed in order to visit the theme parks. Please note that since we're limiting attendance, there may be times when parks reach capacity and additional guests will not be admitted.
Will all rides and attractions be open?
A majority of the attractions and experiences within the parks are scheduled to open. Select experiences will not be available during this phase, and some queue experiences may be slightly altered as we implement our new procedures. Additional details and specific experiences will be shared soon.
Will I have to wear my face covering while on the attractions?
Yes, guests will be required to wear face coverings on attractions. The only exception will be for attractions that include significant amounts of water as part of the experience, as well as volcano bays, slides, and pools.
Will I have to use my own hand sanitizer in order to board a ride vehicle?
Universal Orlando team members will provide guests with the hand sanitizer that is required prior to boarding a ride vehicle.
What is the virtual line experience?
The virtual line experience allows guests to select a time to experience an attraction via the official Universal Orlando Resort app, so they're minimizing the time they're actually waiting in the queue line. Guests can make virtual line selections while they're on site at the parks on the day of the visit and will be available for select attractions.
How will you implement social distancing guidelines at Universal's Volcano Bay?
Overall, Universal's Volcano Bay will follow the same guidelines and procedures as the other theme parks. Some of the specific measures we're taking to implement social distancing at Volcano Bay include: we will limit capacity on each attraction, including rivers and pools. For multi-person raft rides, only one travel party will be allowed to ride in a single raft. Please note that Volcano Bay's standard height and weight requirements will be applicable. Lounge chairs will be placed in a fashion that allows parties to sit together while also maintaining at least 6 feet of distance between other guests.
At Volcano Bay, will I have to wear my face covering while on the slides?
Face coverings are recommended when guests cannot socially distance. They will not be permitted on slides and in pools.
Will all Volcano Bay team members wear face coverings?
Face coverings are required for team members in dry roles. Team members who have wet roles, such as lifeguards, will wear a baklava when they cannot socially distance. These will not be worn on slides or in pools for safety reasons.
Will the Tapu Tapu wearables be cleaned and sanitized?
Yes, per our standard practice, all Tapu Tapu wearables will be cleaned and sanitized prior to guest use.
The next section is entitled City Walk and Parking. How are you implementing social distancing at Universal City Walk?
Some of the measures we are taking include: cars will be staggered throughout our parking structures. There will be signage and floor decals around City Walk and within venues and queue lines to help guests maintain social distancing. We are limiting capacity at all open venues. Tables at restaurants will be placed 6 feet apart.
Will I have to pay for parking?
Self-parking is complimentary during our limited reopening and is subject to change. Parking garages open at 4 p.m. daily until further notice. Valet parking is not available at this time. Additional restrictions may apply and are subject to change without notice.
What are the hours of operation for City Walk and which venues are open?
Select venues at Universal City Walk will be open from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. and are as follows: Red Oven Pizza Bakery, Bubba Gump's Shrimp Company, Restaurant and Market, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, Vivo Italian Kitchen, NBC Sports Grill and Brew, Hard Rock Cafe, Voodoo Donut, Auntie Anne's, Cinnabon, Cold Stone Creamery, Two Stone Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen, Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Starbucks Coffee, Universal Studios Store, Hart and Huntington Tattoo Company's retail shop, and select merchandise carts, as well as Hollywood Drive-In Golf. Please note that select restaurants have a limited menu and all restaurants will have limited seating available.
Can I still make a dining reservation?
Restaurants are accepting walk-ups only and reservations are not available at this time. Please note the wait times may be longer as we are limiting capacity at all open venues.
So I've already had my temperature checked. Why do I have to have it checked again at Hard Rock Cafe?
The Hard Rock Cafe is an independent business not operated by Universal Orlando and has established its own protocols. They are doing this at all their venues, and we respect their decision to do so.
What happens if a guest has a temperature of 100.4 degrees or above when they try to enter the Hard Rock Cafe?
If a guest enters the Hard Rock Cafe and has an elevated temperature, we will ask them to leave City Walk or the resort.
When will the clubs and Universal Cinemark reopen? And what about the Blue Man Group?
During this phase of reopening, Universal Cinemark and all nightclubs will remain closed. Opening dates for these venues will be shared when available. Blue Man Group shows will remain closed through June 30th, 2020. Guests who have purchased tickets for a show during this time frame will be automatically refunded. Please allow up to 14 business days for the return to process back to its original tender. Guests can also call 407-BLUE-MAN 258-3626 for assistance.
Will you have hand sanitizer available for me to use?
Yes, we will have hand sanitizer stations at various locations throughout Universal City Walk for you to use during your visit. You can also purchase hand sanitizer at the merchandise cart in the screening area.
Are pass holder discounts still available at City Walk?
Yes, pass holders can take advantage of increased limited time discounts at select Universal City Walk venues during this time.
What are the limited time increased pass holder discounts and at which venues can I use my discount?
For a limited time, pass holders will receive the following increased discounts at select venues in Universal City Walk. 25% off for Premier Pass holders, 20% off for preferred pass holders, and 15% off for power and seasonal pass holders. Pass holders can use their discounts at the following venues: Auntie Anne's Pretzels, Cinnabon, Cold Stone Creamery, Hard Rock Cafe, Hollywood Drive-In Golf, Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, NBC Sports Grill and Brew, Red Oven Pizza Bakery, Starbucks Coffee, Toothsome Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen, Voodoo Donut. Standard pass holder discounts will apply at the open retail venues. Offer is available to select Universal Orlando annual seasonal pass holders from May 14th, 2020 until June 4th, 2020 at select owned and operated restaurants and carts at Universal City Walk. Offer excludes alcoholic beverages, gratuity, and tax. Must prevent valid annual or seasonal pass at time of purchase. Discounts vary by pass type. This offer cannot be combined with any other offers, promotions, discounts, or prior purchases. We'll leave it at that. There's a lot more. Mumbo jumbo.
The next section is entitled Hotels and Package Bookings. Which hotels are reopening on June 2nd?
The phased reopening of the hotels will include Hard Rock Hotel, Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort, Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort, Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort, Adventura Hotel, and Endless Summer Resort, Surfside Inn and Suites. Plans for Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel and Universal's Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites will be announced at a later time.
What specific guidelines are the hotels implementing?
Universal Orlando's resort hotels have enhanced its standards and protocols throughout its operations. These enhancements, which are subject to change as guidance from health and government officials is updated, currently include: guests, team members, and vendors are required to wear face coverings in public areas. Team members and vendors will be required to have temperature checks upon arrival. Those with temperatures of 100.4 degrees or greater will not be allowed to work. Guests will be asked to self-screen for COVID symptoms and quarantine orders prior to arrival. Guests will have temperature checks upon arrival and return unless previously checked at the hotel that day or prior to boarding our resort transportation system. Anyone with a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater after 3 checks, including one with a new thermometer, will be asked to seek medical attention and obtain medical clearance prior to being permitted to enter. We understand some guests may feel they have special conditions, which we will consider upon request. Hand sanitizer stations in public areas and elevator landings. Enhanced cleaning of guest rooms, meeting rooms, and public areas with an EPA-approved cleaner and disinfectant. All guest rooms will be serviced after checkout. When possible, guest rooms will be left vacant for 24 to 48 hours upon checkout, before thoroughly cleaning and checking in new guests. Frequent cleaning of high-touch areas such as telephones, remote controls, door handles, light switches, elevators, and tabletops, among others. Food and beverage outlet capacity is limited based on recommendations and guidelines. Guests and staff are required to practice social distancing signs, and reminders will be in high-traffic areas. Several contactless experiences for guests, including hotel texting services, express checkout, and contactless room deliveries.
Why are the hotels opening before the theme parks?
Select hotels are opening a day prior to Universal Orlando's parks to give guests the opportunity to check in and get settled before visiting the theme parks and taking advantage of early park admission. Guests arriving on June 2nd will not be able to enter the parks until June 3rd.
Will hotel guests have access to the theme parks on June 3rd and 4th?
Yes, guests staying in our resort hotels will be able to visit the theme parks on June 3rd and 4th, prior to our public reopening on June 5th.
Will hotel guests have to purchase tickets to visit the parks on June 3rd and 4th?
Hotel guests must have valid theme park admission in order to access the theme parks on June 3rd and 4th. Guests can visit the vacation planning desk in their hotel to purchase or pick up tickets.
Why are Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel and Universal's Endless Summer Resort Dockside Inn and Suites not opening on June 2nd, and when will they open?
We are evaluating our offerings and limiting some of the experiences that will be available during this initial phase of reopening. Plans for Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel and Universal's Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites will be announced at a later time. Guests who have booked reservations at these two hotels through Universal Orlando or Universal Parks and Resorts Vacations will be contacted to modify their reservation if it has been affected. If a guest has made a reservation through a third-party partner, we ask that they please contact their preferred travel provider to modify the reservation.
How will temperature checks and screenings work at the hotels?
Team members and vendors will be required to have temperature checks upon arrival. Those with temperatures of 100.4 degrees or greater will not be allowed to work. Guests will have temperature checks upon arrival and return, and anyone with a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater will require medical clearance to enter. We understand some guests may feel that they have special conditions, which we will consider upon request. If a guest registers a temperature of less than 100.4 degrees, they will receive a wristband for that day and are not required to be rechecked if visiting the theme parks on the same day. If a guest plans to visit the theme parks outside of their arrival date, they will be screened at the parks and at their arrival locations for water taxis, resort shuttles, and walking paths. Guests will be given a wristband after completing the screening and are not required to be rechecked upon re-entering the hotels. If a guest leaves the hotel for any other reason, they will be rechecked upon returning to the hotel unless they are wearing the assigned wristband for that day.
What if a hotel guest registers a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater?
If a guest registers a temperature of 100.4 degrees or greater upon check-in, they will not be allowed to check in unless they receive medical clearance to do so. The rest of the guest party will be allowed to check in. We understand some guests may feel they have special conditions, which we will consider upon request. If a guest registers a temperature of 104 degrees or greater any time following the check-in screening, they are required to self-quarantine and seek medical attention. The hotel will follow medical professionals' recommendations as to whether the guest can safely remain on hotel property. An additional guest room may be provided for other members of their party, and they will still be able to move about the resort as they continue to successfully undergo temperature screenings.
Will hotel amenities and dining locations be affected by these changes?
The availability of food service, pools, fitness centers, and other amenities may be limited due to increased frequency of cleaning and sanitation or to comply with latest guidelines and recommendations. Guests should check with the front desk for more details.
Will I still receive hotel benefits like Universal Express if staying at a Premier hotel?
Yes, guests who stay at Hard Rock Hotel and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort will receive Universal Express access to select attractions as well as other hotel benefits.
Will Universal Express be available when the theme parks reopen?
Universal Express will be available for purchase for theme parks beginning June 8th and can be purchased on universalorlando.com or the official Universal Orlando Resort app or in-park. Hotel guests staying at the Hard Rock Hotel and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort will also be able to take advantage of their Universal Express access benefit on any day of their visit.
Is early park admission still valid for hotel guests?
Yes, all hotel guests can take advantage of early park admission as well as other hotel benefits during their visit. Currently, early park admission is scheduled from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at Universal Studios Florida and 9:30 to 10 a.m. at Universal's Volcano Bay.
How will resort transportation be affected?
Guests can still utilize water taxi and resort shuttle transportation to visit City Walk and the theme parks. Face coverings will be required for all guests using resort transportation. We will limit capacity on all shuttles and water taxis so that times may be impacted. We will also increase our already aggressive cleaning and disinfecting procedures on all forms of resort transportation.
Will hotel guests be turned away if the theme parks reach capacity?
We account for hotel guests when setting our capacity limits, and they will not be impacted if the theme parks reach capacity.
What if I'm visiting the hotels from out of state?
Visitors from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Louisiana, and international markets should be aware of and comply with government guidelines regarding travel restrictions and mandatory quarantines before visiting our destination.
Can I plan an event or meeting at the hotels or in the theme parks?
We're currently finalizing plans for future hotel meetings and in-park events. If interested in planning a meeting or event at Universal Orlando Resort, please contact 1-888-331-9108.
And finally, the last section is tickets and passes. Park tickets. Can I get a refund?
Unexpired single-day tickets that have already been purchased will be valid on any day for 365 days from the purchase date. Unexpired multi-day tickets that have already been purchased will also be valid for first use on any day from 365 days from purchase, but as always, must be used within 7 days of first use. Florida resident discounted ticket usage windows and blockout dates remain unchanged unless otherwise communicated. If you cannot travel during this time, you can apply the value of a wholly unused ticket towards a new purchase.
What if I purchase Blue Man Group tickets?
Blue Man Group shows will remain closed through June 30th, 2020. Guests who have purchased tickets for a show during this time frame will be automatically refunded. Please allow up to 14 business days for the return to process back to its original tender. Guests can also call 407 Blue Man 258-3626 for assistance.
Seasonal and annual passes. How will my annual pass or seasonal pass be affected?
All annual and seasonal passes will automatically be extended by the number of days our theme parks are closed. There is no action required from the pass holder. Existing benefits and restrictions will continue to apply.
Will my monthly payment be charged during the park closure?
If you are signed up with FlexPay, we have postponed all monthly payments effective March 25th, 2020. We will be in touch with further details on when payments will resume. If you need to make any changes to your credit card information, please contact Passholder Services at 1-888-5-FLEXPAY.
And finally, will there be changes to blockout dates for seasonal and power passes?
Current blackout dates remain and can be found at universalorlando.com/AP-blackout. Any future updates will be communicated.
So there you go, everyone. I hope that's given everyone some answers to some questions that you've had. And if you are visiting the parks this week, or as I said at the beginning, within the next month or even longer, because we don't know how long these restrictions are going to be in place, I hope that's allayed some of your fears. But at the end of the day, we know you're all desperate to get to the theme parks we love. So are we. But just be aware of the situation right now. Be kind to one another. We're all there for the same reason. Have fun. Abide by the rules. And maybe we can hope to move out of this a lot quicker and get things back to normal so everyone can go and enjoy the parks as we used to. So for now, take care, everyone. As I said, this is recorded on June 1st. June 2nd, tomorrow, we'll see the second part of our podcast documentary released. And I will be back, hopefully, at some point over the weekend with another bonus episode, as I said previously, where I sit down with 4 members of the Producers Club who are visiting the parks over this phased opening to get their opinion and actually get some boots on the ground points of view of what the theme parks look like during this new norm. So for me and Darren, take care, everyone, and we'll speak to you soon.